just because it jumped over 2 videos here. So just to recap, so we said that we had a negative association. So we drew up between test scores and social media. So we can see that here. So we just drew a little line so that we understand. So the more time on TikTok, the lower the score. Then they gave me R squared, which is the coefficient of determination. So that just tells me like how much is influence. So really we know that the R is negative, and if you did the square root of if you're thinking about it, the square root of 0.72 is actually at 0.8. So you know that the R is negative 0.8, which is probably a strong 8.4. That's a strong relationship. Okay, so let's have a look at these questions, and I'm going to show you. Now, it says in question 10, a decreased time spent on social media is associated with an increased topic test. So let's have a look. We think it's a strong, we've already know it's strong. Now, if you have a decreased time on social media, you're here, you have little time, and look where your test score. Is that true? Like, is that a correct statement? It is. So I like that. So I'm going to show you that's good. Now I'm going to show you why, have a look at why the other ones are not good. And that's just so you're careful. Now it says less time spent on social media causes an increase in topic test performance. That is why I don't like that. You can't say causes, can you? No, it's not miraculously, because there's going to be the kid that spent all his time on TikTok and he still gets a good mark, yeah? So that is the word, the causes, or you don't like that. You want to see associated with. And so then it says, then they've got other ones that are just wrong. An increased time on social media means a high topic test? No. Too much time spent on, so there's that word causes, no good, yeah? And so the other one that has associated is the last one, but it says a decreased time on social media. So that means you would be back here, would be a decrease, a low topic test. Is that what your diagram shows? No. So that's why that's A. Okay, so looking at this one, question 14, this was a doozy, and because if you look, only 24%, that's pretty low. So I've seen them come up. So see up here, they asked for, I think, the 7 median smoothing. And so you guys, you're all pretty good at that. You went to 2026, you got the 7 dots around it, and you found the median, which would have been the 4th highest value. All pretty good at doing that. What they do here, and when they say, what is the median winning time in seconds for all the calendar from 20 to 22? So you just want, what they're saying is, what's the median of all 22 winning times? So the winning times are on the y-axis, or the RV. But remember, when we find the median, we find it at the n plus 1 divided by 2 position. So remember, we did all that. So when you look at that, that would be 22 plus 1 divided by 2. So it's the 11th and a half. So that means it's between the 11th and the 12th highest value. So you just got to do all of the, when you've got to do the whole graph. So I've seen this. This was poorly done the year before. It was just, they're just trapping you. You just find the median of all those numbers. So you don't have to go enter them in. That's going to take you forever. Just go from lowest dot up. So here I'm going to go, there's 1. Who comes in next? I'm going to say 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6. The next one, 7. 8, 9, and then if I look, there's 10, and I've got 11, which they're on the same thing, and then I think I've got 12. So it's pretty much between here and here. So between the 11th and the 12th. So I can see that would be that line in there, which is 117, I'm a little bit off, so I'm just going to go, well, obviously I can't be exact. Sorry. I'm on the wrong question. Beg your pardon. This one down here. So it's like right on it's right on 117. So I'm going to say it's B. Okay. Obviously we're at question 16 here, but it's always it's the last question in data. So it's going to be generally a little bit more difficult, or not difficult, or more steps involved. Generally that's what we say. All right, so you've got a set of data here. You've got the day of the season, and it looks like the number of visitors. So here's an actual number. They're giving you an actual number there, okay? So the number of visitors to each month on the zoo is seasonal. So you know you've got seasonality. So when they say here, when they have to correct for the visitors for January in seasonality, when you see the word to correct for seasonality, so to correct for seasonality, that is a way that actually equals, that's saying we're going to deseasonalize. So to deseasonalize the data, okay? So we want to deseasonalize January's data. So if you went, as I've told you before, you don't have a clue of what to do. So let's have a look. We know correct for seasonality means deseasonalize data. If you go to deseasonalize, you've got a formula that says actual over SI. All right, so we've got that. So here it says when they correct for seasonality, so when they deseasonalize January, they said that the actual number of visitors increased by 35%. So what they're saying there is when you if I made up, remember I told you, if we actually had, say we had 100, was 100% was what actually happened. When they deseasonalized, they said it increased by 35%. So I'm going to say, well, it was 135%, and we said, and we don't know the seasonal index. And that is what they're asking. They're saying, what is the seasonal index? So what is this? That's the only thing missing. So you could, you can rearrange that, or, or solve it. But if you want, you can let's just write them all out in case they often like to say show. So if we have this, if you're trying to find the actual, you do it that way. If you're trying to find deseasonalize, that's that way. And let's do the last one. If we have to find the seasonal index, we will do the actual divided by the DS. So this is the one I want to do this time, this version. So I would do the seasonal index is going to be 100 divided by 135. So we end up with 0.74. So that's D. I, to be honest, have not seen the correct for seasonality this option this way before. It was 47%, so I think a fair few of mine have done the solve and worked it out, so that's okay. Because you do have a lot in there, but it was probably very low for the state. You'll get a repeat of this.